I lost me somewhere in there. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. I've got me on the phone on a different account so I can watch. Oh, turn that volume down. Whoa. Turn that volume down. What is that sound? Whoa. Turn that volume down. What is that sound? What is that sound? Hans, I see you on my phone, but not. Ah, there we go. Wow, there's a 20-second lag between my phone and. Oh, I'm going to type a response to you. Hi. I'm going to play a song, although I'm not really going to play. I'm just playing the recording of. It's an old recording from years ago. Let me know how that's coming through, too, if you can. Okay, thank you. Morning, Sonia. Good morning. I'm saying that because Hans said good morning to me. Good afternoon. Yes. Here, anyway. Well, that's enough of that silliness. Two quick questions or comments. One is, where is Hump Tulips? It sounds familiar. And number two, it's 61 in Texas. Darn you, Sonia. I was just saying the other day, I just want one day like 60, 65 and sun. We've had nothing but wind and rainstorms for a week now, and like 50-mile-an-hour winds. Robert Clark, hello, welcome. Yeah, so we've had pretty, it's not, it's not like we're getting freezing weather or snow. We've had freezing weather, but typically here on the west side of Oregon, if the freezing weather comes in, the rains go away. And then when the rains come in, it warms back up. So it's pretty rare we get snow. Oh, good for you, Sonia. It all went around you. Very good. Yeah, we're just not getting any. It's really been like yesterday we had 50-mile-an-hour gust, that's not unusual for us. We get those big storms that come out of Japan, and we call it the Pineapple Express. They're usually a very warm storm, and all our skiers hate them because it often will melt half the snow up at the ski resorts, but all that kind of stuff. So that was starting off with a sort of a stolen song. I love Albert Lee's country picking, and that was he did a song called Paola Blues, and so I did a slightly different chord progression and tried to, I'm not going to get a copyright claim on that because it's my chord progression. It's a little different, and I don't play lead guitar like Albert Lee does. So, but it came out really well. I did that, I think, 7 or 8 years ago. So, my picture looks fairly clear on my phone. Is that what you're experiencing? I had a lot of weird sound early on that was, I think it was because I had the volume on my phone up and it was creating a feedback loop. You always hope to. I kind of do too, but we're just having way less. Our bottom temperatures. I mean, we've been down to 20. You're in Washington? I'm from Washington originally, hon. Hump Tulips. That's where I've heard that. Okay, that's western. I'm an old Walla Walla. I was born in Walla Walla. I did not know that. I don't think I knew that. Anyway, on the East Coast. Janice, good morning and welcome. And Truth Guitar Method, if I didn't say welcome, welcome. I thought I'd just do a quick chat for like an hour, and nobody else was on that I saw that I'm subscribed to, so I just thought I would. Been a few weeks since I had done one. Oh man, 81 during the day. $57 degrees at night. Well, so we're having warm, I think today we're going to get up to 51 as our high, and our low will be not much different. It'll be like 46. We've had some 20-degree days, but no moisture when it gets below freezing so far. And we're just, we'd get a big snowstorm usually about every 2 to 3 years, and it's been way, way longer than that since we've had. So we're having less days and nights that are freezing than we used to. So temperatures are higher than normal, just by a little. Yeah, Han, us two down here, we just had, it's a windstorm. Oddly enough, it didn't rain that much during the windstorm, thank goodness. And then the windstorm would stop, and then would torrential rains. I bet you we've had 3 or 4 inches in the last couple days, 3 days maybe. Mr. Rock, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody. Yeah, I'm getting ready. Lousy Christmas songs paid off. I'm a month ahead on my videos. So coming up is, I don't know if I can get this turned over. It's going to be a Danelectro Spring King. Don't buy one. They're a one-trick pony. They're fun. They're a toy, I think. Well, that's probably harsh, but they are fun. And I collect Danelectro stuff. But I was just comparing it. Well, last night I was comparing it to. I should dig that back out. The Boss Fender reverb pedal, and I like that pedal actually quite a bit better. Even though this is real spring reverb, so I don't know if it'll work or not. Where'd my volume go? Did I just turn myself completely down? Why, it's like magic. The volume goes away sometimes. You got me. I'm a lost soul here. I'm going into that. I'm going into that. That is going. Oh, I wonder if I plugged the wrong thing in, I bet. No, I didn't. I have no idea. Anyway, I'm comparing that to the spring reverb in the Pod Go. And in the Pod Go, it's way more complicated than this one. This is just volume, tone, and reverb. And it does have actual springs in it, which is kind of cool. But it's a very different sound than I remember. My oldest brother played. They used Gibson amps, and so he had a matching Gibson reverb tank, which was the main competitor. Rick Danner, welcome. You gave up on Country Boy? Yeah, I that stuff. I'm just not a flat picker, and of course I don't use a pick normally at all. So I typically use my Magic Pick, which is just a bass thumb pick that I grind down. I didn't grind that one down it's angled wrong. And then I glue in a regular pick. Dogpaw, hello. Well, I'm at a loss as to why I have no sound at all. Interesting. I'll find out later that I did a video the other day. It's coming out next next month, and sometime this month. And I could not for the life of me figure out where did my sound go. All my sound just disappeared, and then apparently I had reached over and turned the volume down on the amplifier, and so apparently you have to have the volume on the amp turned up. Yeah, I have no clue. There's no signal coming to the tuner. guitar is plugged in. It's coming out to the pod go. I have blown something up. Huh. This is that Gretsch Streamliner, or not a Streamliner. It's the 5000 series, Rat Rod. And gosh darn, it's just a really good player. And the only thing I worry about Gretsch is their Streamliners are made in Indonesia, and then some of them are made in Korea, some of them are made in China. And I was looking at one in Cadillac green, and man, it just looked great, and I was ready to go for it. And then I realized at the $900 mark, they were no longer putting Filtertrons in; they were putting Broadtrons in. I thought at 900, I want Filtertrons. I want the real thing. And this one for $100 less had Filtertrons. So yes, woof. Very interesting that everything's gone awry here. Is the sound coming through okay? Where you at, Dog Paw? I'm trying to. Are you down south? I wanted to say Texas or something. Well, I'll worry about that later. I won't. It's coming through okay. Okay. I've been thinking about doing that. Man, I was a big fan of the Youngbloods in the '60s. What was their big song? Written by the guy from Quicksilver. Yeah, I don't really sing much. I don't do vocals. I used to have a good voice. Of drinking and smoking and carousing around maybe didn't pay off after all. So, yeah, so I don't sing much anymore. I don't. It's just really hard. You're in South Texas. Yeah, I'm up in Oregon. Ah, Dogpaw, I was right. You were in East Texas. Okay. Yeah, Janice, that's the music we kind of grew up with, and I keep thinking about doing like Get Together as an instrumental. That was written. That's an interesting story. That guy from Quicksilver who wrote it is it's written under the name Chet Powers, but he also went by the name in Quicksilver as Dino Valenti. And the story was he found out he had been adopted or something like that, and Dino Valenti was his birth name. And yeah, I don't remember it. For what it's worth, and I think we used to do it that way as kind of a medley, Season of the Witch. I don't remember it. Oh, you're way south. Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm complaining about 50-mile-an-hour winds. I guess I best shut up because I know down there you guys can get the whole hurricane thing, or at least the. That's really interesting. I am just going to unplug, turn the pod go off, and go straight through the amp to see if there's a signal there. Oh, there's a signal. Okay, so the amp's working. Something in the pod go that's not picking up a signal. On the pod go, I don't know if the Helix is like that or not. It feels very sturdy and everything except the knobs that control all the values and all that. Hey, hippie. And a big thanks to Metalhead Hippie and his show. Are you going to be back on to what day is? I'm so lost days. Why? Tomorrow, Hippie, Tuesday at 7 p.m. West Coast time, 10 p.m. East Coast time. You took a day off to rest up. I won a Flipside Music T-shirt off a Hippie show, and I think I had gone to Flipside's website one time, and I don't know that I didn't look through it very close. This time I decided to go through and look at it. He's got some different pedals that other people don't carry. And lo and behold, he's also a Reverend dealer. So that caught my attention. I don't know if I'm quite ready. Martin, hello, welcome. Martin is from the far, far East Coast, a little area called Austria. So welcome. Tobin, Chad, right? Oh, thank you. And you're up in Canada. Yeah, he's just, so Flipside Music just had lots of pedals and lots of guitars and stuff like that. And the mom and pop shops, well, everybody's having trouble. I got this from a mom and pop shop up in Washington, up in Olympia. My wife got it. Actually, I didn't, but I looked all over for them, couldn't find them. The big box stores said it would be at least the end of January. Nobody had the black ones in stock. You could get the white ones and the gray ones, but not the black one. And so she just happened to keep looking and digging and found one in Olympia, Washington, at a shop. And so I see somebody saying hi to Kubrick. I broke all my good dollar store glasses, and so I'm using really old ones. Nelson Rodriguez, hello. Hello to Kubrick and Nelson both. Oh, thank you, Sonia. I appreciate that. Yes, yeah. Feel free to you can put a post up anywhere there if you'd like. Did that come through okay? I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay. I have to look at my cell phone because it doesn't, in the chat on StreamYard, does a wrench and who doesn't. Really lost my hands in the last month. Brent Grable, how are you? so flip side, I'd actually tried to get a guitar from a couple of places and couldn't find it, so I emailed Ike over at Flipside, and he was in the same. So I think everybody's in the same situation, that sometimes for some models of guitars and some brands, there's just not available. And the one I was looking at was a different Gretsch, and everybody was out of the Gretches, and they were saying some of the big box stores said, we think we are going to get some more of those maybe in April, and so when I was looking at this other one, Guitar Hack, welcome. Everybody I really love is all right here. I just thought I would do a quick kind of daytime stream for a change, instead of 6 in the morning my time. Doing it on a laptop is really, like, I don't have a mouse. Oh, interesting. My mouse has died. Uh-oh. Well, hopefully I'm still coming through. Yeah, I'm mourning the passing of Jerry Marsden from Jerry and the Pacemakers. Guitar Hack, yes it is. This is called a Rat Rod. It's a made in Korea model with actual Filtertron. They call them black top Filtertrons. And it's just on this model. They're the black top Filtertrons, but they put red on these. And it's a matte black. They call it a satin finish, but it just doesn't seem satin to me. Satin's got a little bit of sheen to it, and this is quite flat. Quite a matte, flat matte black. So, yeah, Nelson, if you got something good, you're gonna be. I don't know. He did a video on a dish that he was making, and man alive, did it look good. Yeah, it's very dull. I don't know if I don't have enough light going here. It's just a very dull flat matte, which I kind of like, because it seems like it's not a real fancy schmancy finish. So I don't, if I smacked it earlier pretty good, and I'm good if it feels like one I can beat up a little bit. I'm not fond. These are very traditional. These are those screw-in knurled knobs, and you got to put your strap over there and then screw these in, and they just keep screwing when you got leather in there, because it's cinching it down on the leather. And I'm just not real fond of those. Those are kind of traditional Gretsch things, though, so that I get. Blackjack Guitar Nut, hello. I'm trying to come up with songs to do as instrumentals, and I've been doing a lot of ballads, and we've got more coming up for you folks. It's Ballad Central, and I kind of want something with a good melody, kind of, that's a little bit more upbeat. I believe this is a hollow body. I don't even remember looking if it has a center block. I can't quite see. I don't think it does. If it does, I can't. It's because I can see the label down in the bottom. So, yeah, I believe it's pure hollow body. When I was a kid, we didn't know anything about center blocks, and we didn't know anything about hollow bodies. We just called the bigger ones were hollow bodies, and the thinner 335 types, those were semi-hollows. And that's all we designated. It wasn't until years later, I was an adult, before somebody said, well, no, that it has to do with whether it has a center block. What's a center block? How many guitars do I have? I have, I think, one less cell phone. I know that. I don't honestly know. I kind of lost track around 50. Oh man, I should. That's not a bad idea, just Bob. Something by the Rascals. I love them. I thought they were great. Um, yeah, their version of "Slow Down" is like my all-time favorite because they right in the middle of it go into this real jazzy little break that's pretty cool. Oh, Dog Paw, that's a great idea. Yeah, they've stopped making the Johnny A. I was watching Johnny's on Facebook every morning, 7 o'clock West Coast time. He's out of is he out of Boston or did he move somewhere up north maybe? But he's East Coast time. So, um, and he was saying that he thought that you can still special order the Gibson Johnny A's, but they're not producing them actually. It's just strictly on special order. So he's kind of done with, I think, Gibson, and the Epiphone stopped making their model. And the Epiphone, I have the Epiphone Johnny A, and I like that, but I think I keep thinking about upgrading it. Johnny on his, of course, his are the Gibsons, but he uses a roller bridge, and he doesn't use locking tuners. He doesn't like those for some reason, but it has a roller bridge, and I thought that Epiphone would be a great one to upgrade actually. So, but the good news is I actually sold 3 guitars about a month ago. A couple of them were duplicates, and yeah, Kubrick. Everybody's talking about the new Epiphones and the Les Pauls. My argument with the Epiphones is every one I ever owned, and even some I tried out in stores, their 3-way switches would just go bad overnight. All of them within a year. My Johnny A, it's not gone bad. It did go bad. It went dead, and I had to give it again. And on my Swingster, it went completely dead, and I had to have it replaced. And the shop, me not thinking or knowing, the shop said, we have an original Epiphone switch we can replace it with. And I said, great. And of course, their switches were just terrible. Now, I've heard this year, with this year's model, they've upgraded to better switches, so I hope that's true. On these Gretches, I've got one that's 10 or 12 years old that finally is giving me a little switch trouble. Your pickup switches, the screw thing here, you have to tighten up. What I don't like, my argument with the Gretches, is they need a plate on here so you can tighten. These things always come loose, and you got to get in there, and you can't just twist it and tighten it because it's just rotating around. You'll break wires. So you got to have some way of anchoring that down while you tighten it up. I might put a little dab of super glue on this one to make sure. Oh, the rings fell off? There's got to be somewhere you can get a new one, right? Anybody know where an Epiphone, the little ring for the switch? Because I think you could get that tightened down pretty easy. Safety washers, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Guitar Center, make sure you might want to talk, go in, I don't know if you can go in with everything that's going on, but kind of talk to the tech, get to know him a little bit, see if he knows what he's doing. Some of the techs I've met at big box stores, wink, wink, nod, nod, had no clue what they were doing. And whereas, like, the techs at my mom and pop shop admit they don't know what they're doing. At the local one I usually go to, my other one actually knows how to make repairs, and if it gets beyond their ability, they have a guy they send it out to who does great work. So, hey Ricky, how you doing? So be very careful about who you take it to and what they what they know and don't know. It's always, I mean, you never know. Sometimes people can talk the talk and still not really have a clue. But if they can't talk the talk, then you know for sure, you know, that um, you probably don't want to. I'm even with my glasses, the chat is so small. Okay, Kubrick. So yeah, so if you're comfortable, then yeah, go for it. Absolutely. Yeah, they do get good techs in. I've talked to a couple guys there that really knew their stuff at my local Guitar Center. Well, I haven't. The local is 15 miles to my north and 50 miles to my south, or something like that. Yeah, so I was mourning the passing of Jerry Marston from Jerry and the Pacemakers, and I had no idea. I remember as a kid, and the British invasion was such a wonderful thing. We just all of a sudden heard lots of new sounds and stuff. And the Pacemakers were almost like a club band or something. They played a ton of ballads and had hits with, you know, Ferry, Cross the Mersey, Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying, You'll Never Walk Alone. He was that was big actually in England more than here in the States. But I was very sorry to hear of his passing. I thought he was a great entertainer. Always worked with the jazz. He wasn't a fancy player at all. I think he played well, I remember he had a Rickenbacker for a while, but I remember sometimes he always had a big hollow body or something. So. You have three up in Danbury, Orange, and Yonkers. Oh, up in New York, okay, yeah, yeah. We have, I think we have three in the greater Portland area. There's one South Portland. It's interesting, if I drive up there to go to the one in South Portland is just the same distance, because I have to go further north as it is to the one in East Portland. And the one in East Portland was always a little more fun. G-Man, Kim. I'm just going to call you so much easier. I'll just call you G from now on. Yeah, it was fun. If anybody, I think most everybody didn't get the intro song. I'll play it on the way out. But it was one I did about 7 years ago. And I had listened to Albert Lee's Payola Blues. And so I changed the chord structure, took my best shot at being Albert Lee. I don't think I succeeded. I did okay, but it wasn't Albert Lee-ish. It was really, you know, typical minor. I called it Crayola Blues. So, but I won't get a. Oh, Francis. Yes, thank you for last night. That was great fun. That was great fun. You're about 40 miles away from Guitar Center. Yeah, I'm about I 15 miles to the north, maybe 20, and I think probably 50 to the south. I'm not sure. Oh, when I'm messing around, I seem to favor Daydream Feel from the Love and Spoonful. I was a huge Love and Spoonful fan, so you may have something there. I don't know, but I always did no matter what rhythm guitar part I did, I was always, what a day for a daydream. What a day. Anyway, it's interesting. I don't even know if we have any Dunkin' Donuts left in the Salem area at all anymore. They've all been kind of bought out by small mom and pop places, I think. And the little town south of me, I go to a little town south of me. It's actually further away, I think, a little bit, because there's less traffic. It's a much smaller town. I can get anywhere I need in 10 minutes. And and they have a donut. Of course, I don't now. I'm diabetic, so I don't get to eat. But they have Cork's homemade donuts open daily that are just this homemade donut place that's just great. Uh, Cake donuts, regular donuts, anything you wanted. So yeah, bald-headed Lena, has anybody seen her? Cute as she can be. She's got a big bald head that's as hard as lead, but she's all right by me. Messy Bessie, that's an old Love and Spoonful song. Yeah, I haven't been by a Dunkin' Donuts. I know the one in South Salem changed to some other one, and I don't know if the one in North Salem. I haven't been by that area for years. So up in Canada, they have Tim Hortons thing, right? That's like a is it a donut shop? Or I thought it was like more like a Starbucks coffee thing. I hadn't tried Dunkin' Donuts coffee in years because they always advertised that they used what's the Hawaiian blend of coffee, Kona, and I just thought it tasted terrible. So maybe something by the Love and Spoonful. That would be interesting. I don't know that I have. I probably have some of their albums, actual vinyl, but I don't know that I have like a anything anything digitally. We have Tim Hortons in. Okay, so it's also in the U.S. Yeah, we have tons. Well, Actually, the guy in Starbucks started in Seattle, and he started because he came down to Portland and was hanging out with friends. And every day they were going to Portland's just famous for having boutique coffee shops, way back before coffee shops were a thing. And he just looked around at Portland and said, "Wow, we little coffee shops, boutique coffee shops." And so that started Starbucks up in Seattle. And we've got our own ones down here. We have Alon Brothers, Dutch Brothers down, I think, is out of Southern Oregon. So, oh, Burger King owns them, so they're still using the name, and it's probably Burger Kingish. Coffee, donuts, and sandwiches at Tim Hortons. Okay, sounds good. I think I want one. Yeah. Zach Wild has his own coffee. Oh, that's interesting. I watch a photography channel. I can't remember the fellow's name, but he has his own line of teas. You know, like if you go to some channels, they have T-shirts and coffee mugs, and he would always start off his. Speaking of which, he would always start off with his cup of tea and then describe what it's a blend of this and a blend of that. I make it myself. So he finally found somebody to put all the blends together and sell them under his name through his, which I thought was pretty ingenious. I can't blame a guy for the bacon cheese melt. Yeah, I don't eat stuff like that anymore, but let me tell you, my brain says, yeah. Martin, yes, we do. We have a lot of stores. I mean, Dunkin' Donuts is back in the day was basically donuts and coffee. That was it. And we have a lot of little mom and pop shops that sell donuts, and then we have some pastry shops that sell donuts and all sorts of different pastries. And I find it interesting. Most of those around here that are kind of like boutique bakeries, they don't really offer any specialty coffees. They uh, just order, the house blend, and it's kind of fascinating. Now, in Salem, there's a few that have some really good stuff. Alon Brothers, which is real big around here, they're actually out of the town that's just south of me, down in Albany, and they're really actually have some really good coffees. Not that coffee shops carry them; they always carry the basic blends, which is the basic blend is really good too. Yes, they can survive. Like the little mom and pop donut shop I was talking about earlier, Corks. They sell coffee, but I don't think it's any special coffee at all. It's just regular coffee. But they have homemade donuts, and they make a bajillion of them every morning at like 3 in the morning to be ready when they open at 6. And they're sold out. I think they close at noon or 2. Now, if you want drive-through around here, we have one called Dutch Brothers, and they're a big thing. And I tried them one time. It was really good. It was strictly drive-through. There's a lot of drive-throughs around. Was that? Yeah, our nickname. I don't know. I understand that people really like Starbucks. I'm not a big fan. Um, I think the business model or anything like that. It's just I do their coffee. We call it Starburns because it's always over roasted a little bit, and I like a good dark roast, but there's a limit to how far you can go. I go. We have a little home employee-owned grocery chain called Winco, and in their stores they have the wall of coffee. Every type of, I don't know what the brand is, but they have just a wall of fresh beans, and you can grind it there or bring it home or do whatever you want. Yeah, if it's really burnt, yeah, I like half quart of vanilla creamer. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Hippie, we'll talk to you later, and you are on tomorrow night. Am I correct? And that's the again, that's the Flipside Music T-shirt I won off Metalhead Hippie Show. And you talk about fast shipping, I tell you, he sent me the shipping notice that said it'll be here today, and I got it. Friday was New Year's. Well, I got it New Year's Eve, or I got it like Saturday. I don't remember. Yeah, you take care. And if you haven't been over to see Metalhead Hippie Show, it's kind of a kick because he highlights other people's videos, music. And he's on Sunday and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. And on Friday, but I can never remember the time. I'm not always, but most of the time I'm busy on Fridays. I want to say 1 p.m. for the European folks. For the Euro group. So did anybody get anything fun for Christmas? Oh, I can't scroll up. That's right, my mouse is dead. Very weird. I have what I don't know what you call it, a dead channel where I subscribe to nobody but me, a second channel. So I can kind of watch while I'm, hey, there I am playing guitar a couple of minutes ago. So that shows me the lag time. Yeah, I was behind in the chat. Yeah, just Bob. Yeah, we exchange gifts. This is a gift. uh, but you know, it was absolutely much more low key. Oh, do you hack? Wow, that's well, I'm not buying amps anymore because I don't play out or anything. So, but that's one I was kind of interested in looking at or hearing about. So I'm looking forward to that. Friedman Runt. And the Dirty Shirley looks nice. Yeah, I don't. You know, I'm having such fun, and I owe a thank you to Hack on this. He has the Helix, and I was talking about getting the Pod Go, and he said, "Oh, come on, you've been around long enough. You'll be into the Pod Go in no time." And so they had a floor model at Guitar Center, and it was their last one. I got a good discount on the Pod Go, Helix Pod Go, and I bought it kind of on a whim. And I brought it home and I looked at it and was totally overwhelmed. And thought, oh man, what did I do? What did I get myself into? Because I've always had multi effects, and some of them were nightmarish. Vox Tone Lab, and so Tone King did a video and said, let's make a preset together, and he did it all in about 10 minutes. And I just watched, kind of took a couple notes, and as soon as his stream was over, I came over, and Hack was absolutely right. You can be into this thing. You know, you'll watch a short video on how to do it, and you'll be into it, and you can, I don't know how many ones it's really, it's very intuitive. You have the Positive Grid Spark amp. That was one I thought about, and I kind of decided that I already have enough little small amps. Who was I listening to yesterday that was playing? something big, maybe a hollow body with, I think it was on Francis's, on Padded Pedal Room's show last night. Somebody was playing, and I looked up the video. I don't remember, and they were playing through a Spark, and I thought, no way, that sound came through a Spark. It sounded big. It sounded like a big amp, a big, really good sounding amp. So I was impressed with that. I do have that Yamaha THR, the dark, I don't remember which one, the classic one that's a very not the real high gain one, but the classic one, and that really has great sounds to it if you're just sitting around. Far better, well, probably more expensive too, though. Far better than any of the Roland Microcube products, I think. I've got a few of those things, and I'm just not that fond of them. For practice amps, they're okay. Yeah, Hack, thanks. Yeah, it's I watched Tone King's video, and I was back over here working on it, and it took me to do the basic setup maybe 5 minutes to come up with my own preset. Now it was very simple. It had delay and reverb, and that was all through an amp with two 12s. And yeah, probably 5 minutes. Now to dial it in, that probably took another 10 or so to kind of get to where I thought I was close. And with the Pod Go, I know it comes with software, and you can actually do all sorts of things. I haven't even I haven't plugged that in. I don't think I've even downloaded the software. Well, maybe I have. But, I think if it's like any of the other software, that's probably easy to work with too. Same with the Bosch Katana. I haven't used the software at all because I only use that amp in one setting, which is on the clean. I don't care for the other settings. I just use the clean setting and give it a little drive, and it sounds like a warm tube-ish blues amp. A Fender Mustang LT50. LT50 doesn't ring a bell. Mustang. I've got a little Mustang somewhere around here. I would buy the Mustang. I had the G deck, and I didn't. There was something about that. Half-Ace, how are you doing? Good to see you. It was really good. The Mustang was easier to work with than the G deck, I thought, and I don't know. It's been too long. I can't remember what it was I didn't care for on the G deck, but it was just easier on the Mustang. Then the other thing on the Mustang, and I have one. I'm big on multi-effects because there's always stuff in them that I can use, and typically their overdrives are not that great historically. But the ambient tones are just fine, and you can stick a drive in front of it and then run a multi-effect after with all your ambient tones. But the Fender Mustang floor pedal for Fender tones, for the clean Fender tones, is really a really amazing pedal. I haven't used it in about 3 or 4 years, but I mean, um, it was very intuitive to work with. You're using a head rush, Francis. Yeah, I thought about that. The Ditto looper is Kubrick is that the TC Electronic looper? I've not gotten into. I have a Digitech looper, Jam Man, maybe is that what it's called? I haven't used it in ages because everything I end up getting has some sort of looper in it. Oh, you're using Studio One Professional. I have a sample trial version of that, and I have come really close to trying it out. I'm still using Cakewalk Home Studio 7, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. And it's just kind of what I grew up with. So when all that stuff came out, well, I grew up with the old hard decks. A Roland 12 track. Well, I still got my cassette. There it is. I think it's a Tascam cassette, Tascam 4 track. Yeah, I always worry when I talk about things. I try not to recommend them. I try to say, here it is, and this is what I like about it, or what I'm not too. But I had somebody leave a comment on one of my videos saying, "Oh, thank you so much. I just bought one. I really liked." And I thought, "Oh, I hope you watched the whole video because on that particular product, which shall remain nameless, um, I had talked about their earlier models that were made in Korea as being really good that I have, and now all their models, I'm not sure where they're made, and I haven't played them, so I don't know. Oh, what the heck? PRS SE. And I've not played the newer ones that are made in. They're either made in Indonesia and some are maybe even made in China. And and I just think some stuff is just hit and miss. They may be perfectly good. Are you back on your pedals now, Hack? Not using the HX? Sean the bassist, hello. If I didn't, I don't think I said hello. I didn't see you in there. Like I said, it's the problem with reading glasses is that you don't want to use them when they're far. Here I am. I put them on so I can see better, and I'm looking over the top of them, and there I can actually see better a little bit. Oh, Fender stopped that download thing or something. I heard about that. I had never really used that. I just kind of dialed it in, and um, I think the odd thing about Fender solid state amps is that they really have gotten their clean sound down. And if you were, excuse me, if you were doing, well, most jazz guitarists would not like the sound of a Fender clean. That's not the jazz sound that if they're traditional jazz guys. But if you were doing an independent sort of gig and doing clean stuff, like right now, that's a Fender Champion 20 I'm going through, all solid state, and it has great tones in it. I don't think I want to play it distorted and play rock and roll with it. I don't think it would sound that good. And I don't think I want to play a jazz gig where I'm really clean with it because well, I would. Nobody would know. I would know. And but I, I would use a Quilter. I have a couple of Quilter amps that I like for jazz. Oh, and the ZT, the new ZT Lunchbox amp. Some of them are spendy, man. But I have the old one. I mean, I bought it used, barely used for 190 bucks or something like that. And then I bought the extension cab. And that little thing I think it's an 8-inch speaker. It's 200 watts, which is crazy. And then you add on the extension speaker, cuts it in half to 100 watts, which is still crazy. But at least it gives me some control and it evens out the sound a little bit. And for a jazz amp, I'm just fine with that. The real jazz guys would want to other amps. Wow, it's been over an hour. I had no idea. I had no idea. I wouldn't have guessed. Well, in case Terry Himes checks in, he and I were talking about slides, and because I have arthritis, no, now I don't have a regular slide. It had a little bit of a build up on it, but this one has a built-in. This is a Shub. It's got a special name though. It's named after the designer, and it's made by Shub, and that just raises it, and it's not a cure-all, but it just raises my finger up and lets my hand drop down, and so instead of playing like my lap steel for 15 minutes before my hand freezes and becomes paralyzed, I can play for about, I don't know, 20, 25 before it becomes, it's still going to get cramped up and paralyzed. But that's a made by Shub. And I had no idea. I bought it a long time ago, and while I was employed and actually had way more money, so probably, I guess. So I was surprised. I had misplaced it, and I finally found it in a box and pulled it out, and it was still in the original package. And I saw that the price was $46. I thought, whoa, what was I thinking? I think it's worth it. I don't play that much lap steel is the problem. Yeah, yeah, Kubrick. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, what would I gig with, Hack? I think that ZT Lunchbox with the extension speaker is a good option. Right now, however, my go-to speaker cab is one of those really cheap Fender 1x12 extension cabs. You pick them up used at Guitar Center for like 150, 100 and a quarter. And that actually has good tone, a good clean tone. I don't know how it would do for real rock and roll. It's made to go with those little tube amps, the Champ XD or XD2 or something like, which I also have, and it would work for that. But for straight jazz, I use a Quilter Mini 101, and then, well, I don't have it here, but Quilter made, I don't know if they still make it or not. It's called the, oh, no, I can't remember. It's this size. It's a pedal that's this size, and it's a 40. Mr. Memory today. It's a 44 watt amp, but going through 8 ohms, it's 33 watts, which was weird. I thought it would always cut it in half, but it doesn't. And so it gives me 33 watts, and that little Quilter micro block, uh, is really, it has all the amp for jazzy stuff that I want. And yeah, I would not have trouble. Well, I did. I think that's what I used a year ago Christmas, not this Christmas. I had 2 jazz gigs. I was supposed to Christmas jazz gigs. Would have been fun. But I used that I think a year ago was the Quilter, and now I've gone with their regular little head, the 101, something like that. And I keep thinking about buying a Quilter extension cabinet because you can take that 101 and it slots down. It actually has a hole in it on the top where you can put that amp and secure it down, and it then becomes a combo unit. So you don't have to have the amp separate from. Anyway, the Quilters, the Quilters I like. I'd have no trouble using this little Champ 20 though, because as I always say, in the mix, the crowd doesn't know. I always said I wanted to do a poll. I have 2 guitarists, one playing a late 50s Les Paul through a Dumble amp, and the other one playing a Squier through a PV Bandit. And as the crowd leaves, we stop them all and ask them, which one did you like better? And the overwhelming answer would be, huh? You know, they really wouldn't know. And so I think when we talk about tone, and it's absolutely, it's for us. You know, it's not for the crowd. It's for the two guitar players that are in the crowd and us. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, folks. I'm going to play us out a little bit with, well, I'm not going to play. I'll see if I can follow along with, that's out of tune. Oh, what happened? Where did it go? Hang in there with me. Oh, I'm in the wrong menu. No wonder I can't find anything. We'll go out with Crayola Blues, which is my ripoff of Albert Lee. So, yeah. I changed the chord structure so I wouldn't get a. And of course now it's missing. The one thing about the E-band is it doesn't. Hello?
I didn't follow what you said.
I said nothing.
Can you phrase it another way?
No. Well, folks, I'm out of here.
Okay.
Stop. Yeah, I don't know if you can see me or not. I've had something pop up on my screen asking me what it is I want, like an Alexa type of thing. And I have no use of my mouse, so goodbye, folks. I can't even get us out of here. We'll do... Oh, there I am again. Thank you, Sonia. Well, that's just the backing track. I thought it was the whole song, so I wouldn't have to mess around or play. It's just the backing track. So anyway, until we see you again down the road on Hippie's stream tonight and other live streams. Oh, Ben Coombs tonight at 5 with Music Therapy Laz and Roxy. I have some questions I want to ask Roxy. So we will talk to you all later, folks.